Good afternoon, and thank you for coming. We're excited for you to join us as we rename the Championship Center to the McDermott Center. I want to start by thanking all of our supporters that contributed funds to help build this wonderful facility. The vision of this building certainly would not have become a reality without your support. I want to offer a special acknowledgement to the Scott family for being the lead donors on this project. Ruth, to you, Bill, John, and your entire family, thank you. Your contributions to Creighton University, our athletics department, and the entire Omaha community over the course of many years is incredible. We are so grateful for your generosity, your friendship, and your dedication to Creighton. The McDermott Center, which we proudly named today, has always been more than just a building. It represents our commitment to excellence to all our student athletes. This facility is home to our men's basketball program, but also serves each Creighton student athlete. From training facilities that rival the best in the nation to spaces designed for collaboration and learning, every corner of this structure has been designed to empower our student athletes and support their journey to success. It has certainly been, and always will be, a place that builds champions in their playing venues, in the classroom, and in life. This building has been renamed the McDermott Center because of the impact the entire McDermott family has made on Creighton University. Coach McDermott has elevated our men's basketball program to national prominence. Creighton men's basketball is synonymous with winning, playing the right way, and more importantly, winning with student athletes who are great representatives of the university and the community. And one of those student athletes, Doug McDermott, is one of the main reasons we were able to make the successful leap from the Missouri Valley to the Big East Conference. We truly became a national program and a household name during Doug's time as a Creighton Blue Jays student athlete. And becoming a national basketball program has certainly elevated the profile of Creighton University. But none of this was possible without the support of the rest of the McDermott family. Teresa, Nick, and Sydney are also extremely instrumental in the success of Creighton men's basketball. We are profoundly grateful for the sacrifices and investments you've made for Greg, Doug, and everyone involved in Creighton athletics to be successful. So thank you to the rest of the family. Looking ahead, this building will always be a place where champions will be nurtured and where the values of teamwork, perseverance, and sportsmanship will be instilled in each student athlete who passes through its doors. I hope that makes everyone that contributed to making this facility a reality extremely proud. Now please welcome to the stage the president of Creighton University, Father Daniel S. Hendrickson of the Society of Jesus.
Thanks for being here today, everyone. It's great to see so many of you, our Creighton colleagues, but also great friends of the university who help us achieve big dreams. And thank you, Marcus, for that introduction and your remarks. Creighton's Championship Center opened its doors to great fanfare back in June of 2014. More than 500 donors contributed to its construction, with Bill and Ruth Scott, the Scott Family Foundation, Wayne Ryan, Connie Ryan, and Rhonda and Howard Hawks taking the lead on this great project. A gift from the Peter Kiewit Foundation allowed Creighton to purchase the land right here where the athletic corridor facilities are located. As lead donors to the project, naming rights for the building were awarded to Bill and Ruth Scott. For nearly a decade, the building, as you know, has been the Championship Center, a harbinger of the many successes that would follow. Today, in typical humility, Ruth Scott and the Scott Family Foundation, they've chosen to bestow a most honored and respected name upon the facility. The Scott family has requested that it be named after Coach Greg McDermott and his family. Coach McDermott is a longtime friend of Ruth and the late Bill Scott, who passed away in February at the age of 93. Greg and the McDermott family embody, as Marcus was just speaking, all that we hold dear here at Creighton University. We're so pleased to honor Greg's wife, Teresa, their children, Nick and Sydney and Doug, and as Marcus just said, Doug is one of Creighton's most successful student athletes in the history of the institution. Other members of the McDermott family have left their mark on college basketball as well, including Teresa. The Creighton vs. Cancer Pinkout game takes place every January. One of college basketball's awesome traditions was inspired by Teresa's battle with breast cancer. Since 2011, Creighton has raised more than $600,000 through its jersey auctions, its game day collections, and matching donations. Absolutely. With Greg's leadership in 2018, he was recognized by the National Association of Basketball Coaches with the organization's Coaches vs. Cancer Champions Award. In 15 years, Greg McDermott has set records that have put Creighton on the national map. But he's also instilled in friends and in fans a sense of hometown pride, remarkable loyalty, and maybe best of all, a great sense of community. That's what's so Creighton. Blue Jay Athletics is not only a moniker, but it's a brand, one that evokes academic prowess and athletic talent and sportsmanship and perseverance. Coach McDermott is preparing to enter his 15th season as head coach, during which time he has set and he's broken records at a predictable pace. He's taken the Blue Jays to 9 NCAA tournaments, including the Sweet 16s, 3 of them, and a 2023 trip to the Elite Eight. His 325 wins are just too shy of a program record and include 19 postseason victories and 39 wins over top 25 teams. He's on the brink of becoming the winningest coach in Blue Jay history, which put him at the top of legendary group of predecessors that include the likes of Dana Altman, Tony Baroni, Tom Apke, Eddie Sutton, and Red McManus. But Coach McDermott would be the first to say that much of the success of Blue Jays have enjoyed is attributed to the generous investment of people who believed in their hearts that Creighton could and should compete with top college basketball programs. Foremost among them have been Bill and Ruth Scott. Since 1999, the Scott Family Foundation has donated tens of millions of dollars to more than 100 Omaha organizations. Bill and Ruth have enthusiastically and even joyfully supported Blue Jay men's basketball as well as Creighton women's teams and a wide range of academic programs and our important campus facilities. In the process, they built lasting friendships throughout Creighton. Their friendship, as much as their sponsorship, has empowered us to dream bigger than we thought possible. So just please join me in a moment of silence, followed by a prayer to thank God for the life of our departed friend and fan, Bill Scott. Almighty God, we gather in gratitude for the generosity of many, but especially for Ruth Scott, her late husband Bill, their 3 sons and families. We're grateful for the mission of Creighton University that calls us to develop our gifts. We're grateful for all who walk with us and encourage us in that mission. Thank you for the facilities that inspire student athletes to their best. Let the McDermott Center foster the overall well-being and the development of their minds, bodies, and spirits. May they gather in good health and safety with good intentions and sportsmanship. May your justice inspire fair play and your love inspire mutual respect. Even as we thank you for all the McDermott Center signifies in our resolve for a program of national renown. Keep us mindful that it is even more important that our student athletes become outstanding people. We ask you to bless and guide all who influence their lives, their coaches and administrators, faculty and staff, alumni, friends, and donors. Let us inspire one another in the examples of the McDermott family through dedication, leadership, and ethical behavior. Let the Omaha community continue to witness the mission of Creighton University through its students actively and joyfully changing the world for the better. For this we say, amen. It is with profound appreciation that I thank the Scotts for their generosity and heartily accept their request to rename the Championship Center the McDermott Center. I congratulate Coach McDermott and Teresa, Nick, Doug, and Sydney on this really great honor. And it's now my pleasure to invite Coach Greg McDermott up to the podium. Thank you, everyone.
Father's notes are much more organized than mine are, I can see. Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming. Obviously, this is an incredible feeling to stand in front of you today and be honored in this way. My family's here today, my wife Teresa, Nick, Doug, Sydney's significant other Graydon, and Doug's significant other Anna. So I'm glad that they're here with us today. I was walking in with Sydney, and she asked me what I was going to talk about. And I said, I'm not really sure. And she said, well, whatever you do, don't be too charming, don't be too witty or intellectual. She said, just be yourself. So she knows me best. But I have a lot of thank yous. I've been here starting my 15th year. Father Schlegel was the president. I remember interviewing in his office when I came to campus 14 years ago and appreciated his leadership and his belief in me. And then Father Lannon replaced him and obviously was a huge advocate for athletics and helped foster our move to the Big East. And then Father Hendrickson's leadership since he took over for Father Lannon has been incredible and has allowed us to continue to move our program and our athletic department forward. I'd like to thank Marcus and his staff, and then Bruce Rasmussen and his staff, and also like to thank Bruce for giving me this opportunity 14 plus years ago. I'm thankful to this day that he just watched my games at Northern Iowa and didn't pay any attention to what was going on when I was at Iowa State, and still thought I was the right guy for the job. But it's the 14 years has flown by, and it's flown by in large part because of the people here in Omaha. I have a lot of thank yous, certainly to my family. They've allowed me to chase a dream of being a college basketball coach. And obviously with that comes some difficult and challenging times that you have to navigate through, a lot of moves over the course of our lifetime. But also they're there to celebrate the great times, and the first ones to celebrate when things have gone well. And I certainly would not have had the opportunity to move forward in this profession without the support of Teresa, Nick, Sid, and Doug. So thank you guys very much. I know it's been talked about previously by Marcus and Father, but I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Doug's career in a Blue Jay uniform. And a big reason that I'm standing up here is because of what he was able to accomplish as a student athlete. He and his teammates went 14-4 that first year in the Big East. We were a number 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, which was the highest in school history, and we finally matched that this past season 10 years later. And that group really blazed the trail for teams to follow in terms of how to be successful in this league when we made really an overnight move from the Missouri Valley Conference to the Big East. He was a three-time All-American, National Player of the Year. And as Marcus mentioned, Creighton became a national name in men's college basketball due to his success. And also the humble approach to the accolades that came his way. I couldn't be more proud of how he continues to represent Creighton University, the Omaha community, and our family in such a positive way during his recently completed 10th year in the NBA. So thank you, Doug. My job is a job that's very dependent on other people, and I rely on the hard work, dedication, and support of many people to have a chance to be successful. Starting with my current players, most of them are here today, and I appreciate you guys being here, and then my former players as well. I see Austin Chapman standing over there, but I couldn't do what I do without quality, outstanding young student athletes who have grown into successful businessmen, fathers, and husbands. All of the assistant coaches, current and past, and support staff that have worked alongside me for the last 14 years. And of course you, our loyal boosters that continue to support us with your time and resources. And most importantly, I sincerely appreciate that you just continue to show up. I remember back, and I tell this story all the time in recruiting, the year after Doug and Johans and Grant and Ethan graduated, we got off to a rough start. Austin was our starting point guard that year. We started 0-8 in the Big East. And we came home for a Tuesday night game against Butler. I think it was an 8:15 start, and there were 18,100 people at that game. And I still get goosebumps just thinking about that night, because everyone understood how hard these guys were playing. We had a lot of near misses. They were playing their hearts out, and you showed up and showed your appreciation for how they represented themselves and our athletic department on a nightly basis. And I think that speaks volumes of what this community is all about. And now let's talk about this beautiful building. It's really hard to believe, as you know, Doug and Austin got to practice in here one year, but Doug just got to watch it be built from across the street, and he was really thrilled with that as he walked up the spiral staircase to practice at the old gym. But this was a pipe dream 12 years ago, and it was Bruce Rasmussen's vision, not only to build a practice facility, but to build a state-of-the-art practice facility. And, Bruce worked incredibly hard to make sure that we were going to have a building that was going to allow us to be successful long-term. And at the time we started the fundraising and the planning for this building, the Big East wasn't even in the back of our mind. We were going to try to be as successful as a mid-major program as we possibly could be, and we felt like this building would take us there. And as I think back, and as I was reflecting the last couple days, I'd hate to think where we would be without this building. Would we be in the Big East when they took a hard look into adding 3 schools? Would Creighton have been one of them had we not had plans to open this wonderful facility? Would we have the NCAA tournament success that we've been able to achieve the last 15 years without a training facility for our players to use? With Justin Patton, Kyrie Thomas, Marcus Zagorowski, Tyshawn Alexander, guys that were either drafted or played in the NBA, would have they been able to develop their games, or would have they even been here had we not had this practice facility? We hope to hear Baylor and Trey's name called this coming week. And again, would it be possible at all without this facility? There's a sign right behind me that says "Culture Wins." And we've been able to build and maintain a championship center, or a championship culture, because we have a place that we can call home. And the amount of time that our teams have spent here together is the reason that our culture is so strong. And the fact that we have a beautiful place to call home is a big reason we've been able to do that. So how did it all happen? And as Father mentioned, it happened because of the support of countless people in our community, over 500 donors, many of you that are here today. But especially because of the kindness of Bill and Ruth Scott and their sons, John, Don, and David. Ruth is here today with her son, John, John's wife, Diane, and their daughter-in-law, Stephanie. Unfortunately, we lost Bill in February, and I have so many wonderful memories of Bill. We took many trips to Sutton Bay to play golf with a group of guys. And the minute Bill got on the plane, he started talking about the walleye fingers and make sure that that first order was put in front of him. It usually didn't venture very far from in front of his plate. He was pretty proud of them and kept pretty close eye on them to make sure nobody else grabbed him. Then he would proceed to win 80% of the skins on the golf course because he never really missed a putt that mattered. I always enjoyed visiting with Bill and Ruth at our volleyball matches. They were huge fans of Kirsten and the volleyball team, sat right in the front row. I learned quickly that I needed to visit during the intermission because Bill really wanted me to get the hell out of there once the match started again so he could watch the girls play. Ruth, I would like to thank you and Bill and your entire family for making a lasting impact on Creighton athletics. As the lead donors for this building, the Rasmussen Center, and the Ruth, and a little backstory, and Ruth shared it again with me today, the volleyball players got to name that building, and they chose to name it the Ruth for a good reason. Had the basketball players got to choose what this was going to be named, it would be called the Bill. But the Bill was not going to have anything to do with that, so here we are today. But you've created fitness and training opportunities for massive numbers of students and student athletes. The far-reaching benefits of your generosity is so incredible, it's impossible to measure. Our goal in the athletic department never changes. We strive to recruit, retain, and graduate outstanding student athletes. The facilities that the Scott family has supported have allowed our department to do just that and have championship level programs at the same time. Ruth, my family and I are truly honored and humbled by the recognition bestowed on us today by your incredible family. Every day moving forward as I enter the McDermott Center, I will think of you and Bill and the spectacular impact your friendship has had on me. We are forever grateful for your generosity. Thank you very much from the bottom of our hearts.
Again, we want to thank you all for coming today. Please stay for hors d'oeuvres and drinks. And let's give one more round of applause for the McDermott family and Bill and Ruth Scott.